So what if you doubled your income and worked half the time? What if you doubled the amount of sex you had? Just for fun. My name is Mr. 2020. Today we're going to explore the amazing power of doubling up. We may even cover why I love it. We're going to cover how to double up in a cool way that you've probably never thought of before. And of course, I'm going to invite you to dive deeper so you can soar higher. This is the Power of Imagination podcast, where a real guy, not AI, shares with you something real, and it's called the Power of Imagination. And if you got gold today, I do have a request. Share the show, because sharing is caring. And if this blessed you, wouldn't it be nice to bless someone else? Ready? Let's dive in. So you expect, well, every month you probably have bills. Rent, mortgage, electrics, petrol you put in the car, groceries. And every month you have income. And I bet you expect the next month's income and expenses to be what they tend to be. And every now and then we get something special. Back in the States we had yearly property tax. Here we have quarterly rates. I love how they call things different things in different places. But it's the same bullshit, you know. And we start to govern ourselves with rules. Because the rule is, this is how much I make, this is how much I spend. It's pretty predictable. And let me tell you something, pretty is not predictable. Let that sink in. And predictable really isn't pretty. So, I'm having a chat with one of my people, and I ask, I got two things for you. One, the whole Joseph Goddard to the max thing, daily wins, confidence builder, really important. And of course they're not doing it. And I say, all right, I'll do it. JosephGoddardToTheMax.com. Specific events of your day having gone your way. But that's just the side note for today. I said, well, let me ask you a question, right? So, what are you imagining about all this stuff? And so we dove into money first, because sex is a little personal for some people. And of course, it's like, I make about the same. I know what I'm going to make this month. It's pretty predictable. And of course, again, I say, pretty is not predictable. Let's get beyond that. Well, let me ask you a question. How are you imagining things different? Is this a desire? Do you want to change? How are you imagining things different? And they told me how they're doing it and how they're struggling. And I got it. Right? Tell me about revision. And I say, well, I don't like revision. I don't understand revision. I've tried revision. It didn't work. And I said, cool, you've got a choice today. And this is what I want you to write down. You can relive or you can revise. And most people keep imaginally and mentally reliving. They're different, by the way. Most people mentally and imaginally keep reliving. And in their physical world, the echo, they keep reliving. It's like the rule is, this is how much money I make, and the rule is, this is how much money I spend. And it's pretty predictable. And I just cringe, because predictable ain't pretty. Let's face it, you guys that are married, you women that are married, wouldn't a little unpredictable be fun? But I seem to digress, don't I? So I say, look, you got to know revision. All right, you got to revise like I do. Tell me about how you've revised. And they tell me, and I just, all right, I get it. You aren't doing what I do. I don't know where you're getting this from. But I'm going to give you 3 pieces of homework. And I give them 3 pieces of homework. And the first one is revise the conversation as you hear it, just for fun. Any conversation at all. Just revise the conversation as you hear it. If they say yellow, you hear blue. Just for fun. Let it be about innocent stuff at first. Trivial stuff at first, just for fun. And I give them 2 more pieces of homework. And an insight. So here's the deal. You want to double your income and work half the time? What if you just doubled your income and your bills were half the threat that they are? Because a lot of people would love to have half the bills. And I said, all right, why don't you just double your income? Then you could put money in your retirement. You could buy more cool shit, right? You could put the high-grade petrol in your car so it doesn't chug-a-lug along, right? So what if you doubled your income and your bills were half the threat? What if you had twice as much sex just for fun? And the short answer is revise last month. Because when someone tells me, on average, I have sex once every so many times a month, I say, on average, is that pretty much the same every month? Yeah, pretty much the same every month. Christmas is a little more stressful, so we have less sex and money. I say, yeah, I get it. But you get what you're imagining about Christmas is coming up. Meanwhile, I attempt to digress again. I'm not that good at it. Revision. Neville Goddard said if I could teach one thing, it would be revision. And I hated revision. I didn't understand it. I was too busy trying to change what I had no business changing, and I didn't understand what revision did. And so revision didn't work well for me, and I struggled with it. Meanwhile, we've got 2 recording things. I'm going to suggest you get them both. One is revisiontothemax.com. It's a tiny little, well, it's actually a pretty good pack for the price. And the other one is, it's a live call recording we did on revision. And we explored stuff that I've never seen explored elsewhere. If you go to NevilleGoddardStore.com, that's NevilleGoddardStore.com, 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 and look at the revision section, get both of those. And here's what I want you to do. What if you revised last month? You can start doing that right now, but I strongly suggest you dive deeper, soar higher. Let's imagine having had done that, and you sending me your email saying, hey, I'm glad I did it, as we go into the silence. Predictable isn't pretty. And if you're living in predictable patterns, you've made the past your ruler. It will advance into the future if you let it. Or you can let yourself out of the cage. My name is Mr. 2020. You've been listening to the Power of Imagination podcast. If you love what we do, I request that you share it. Share it is caring. Share it someplace. Share it on the Facebooks. Share it with a friend. Share it in a group. Share it on your personal timeline. I don't care. But I can tell you, if this blesses you, it'll bless someone else, and you've got no right to deprive them of oxygen. And the reason why people tend not to share, because I ask, is they hold their breath. They're afraid of what people will think. They deprive themselves of oxygen by depriving others. Just a quick thought. Anyway, go get those revision recordings. They're in the revision section at NevilleGoddardStore.com. Have a great day. And I just thought someone's going to ask me, why? As long as you keep remembering this is the way things are, you're going to feel this is the way things are. When you start exploring, last month I doubled the amount of sex I had just for fun and the amount of money I made. And bills were half the problem that they were. What if you honestly explored that in the cool ways that we suggest? What if you actually revised the conversation as we hear it? Both the one in the world, when someone's talking at you, and the one in your head, where you're beating the shit out of yourself or saying, that Mr. 20, all he wants is your hard-earned money. Don't give him that $7. Don't order that tape. That's tape, you could tell him from the 80s. That's $40. That's a lot of money. What's it costing you? right? To keep repeating. Have a great day. See ya.